Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So upon entering office, Joe Biden said he wanted to make sweeping changes to Social Security. We're going to be going over 10 different changes that he wants to make, even though he has just 1 year left to do so. Plus, RFK Jr. makes an apology after releasing an ad for the Super Bowl, which he's saying he did not approve, so we'll be covering that as well. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $9,000 in free stocks or $9,000 in free cash, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Webull. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then deposit at least 1 penny. At that point, Webull will be sending you at least 3 free stocks worth, once again, all the way up to $9,000. Okay, so diving right into our lead story of today's video. Of course, yesterday was the Super Bowl and the Chiefs pulled out a crazy victory in overtime over the San Francisco 49ers. Let me know in the comment section below if you stayed up to watch that. Now, within that, of course, we had different commercials going on, and RFK Jr. actually had a commercial released on his behalf. He says that he did not approve for this and did not pay for it, and he actually had to go on Twitter, or actually known as X now, and make an apology. So he said, "I'm so sorry if the Super Bowl advertisement caused anyone in my family pain. The ad was created and aired by the American Values Super PAC without any involvement or approval from my campaign. FEC rules prohibit Super PACs from consulting with me or my staff. I love you all. God bless you." And right now we're actually going to play what was aired in that commercial in case you did not see it, and then we're going to come back to briefly talk about it.
Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through? A man who's old enough to know
and young enough to do?
Well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
American Values 2024 is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
So in my opinion, at least, it was a pretty catchy theme. He didn't really say what things he valued or what he planned to do if he was voted in as president. And of course had pictures of his other family members, and kind of, once again, a catchy theme song there, kind of like taking you back to the older commercials that we had back in the day for presidential candidates. And of course, I guess some of his family got offended by that he used images other than himself and used other family members in that commercial. So he did come out with an apology. Let me know in the comment section below if you believe that he needed to apologize for that. Now, as far as general polling goes, here we can pull up Biden versus Trump versus Kennedy. We can see on average, Trump fares pretty well in that 3-way polling. And actually, Kennedy does pretty well in the polling as well. On average, he is getting around 16.8 points, which is still well behind Biden and Trump both. But he is still getting a significant amount of the vote. And who knows, maybe if he pushes forward harder within the next few months, he can get even closer, maybe pull out a miraculous victory. But in the end, it looks like Trump is going to be the favorite whenever we pull these three together. Now, speaking of Joe Biden, whenever he first entered office, he said that he wanted to make sweeping changes to Social Security, that he had all these plans, and we're actually going to be going over 10 different ways in which Joe Biden wants to change Social Security within the next year. He has 1 more year at least. Will he try to push changes for Social Security, or will he happily stand put? So this is an article by the Motley Fool. They say that Joe Biden wants to make big changes to Social Security. 10 things that you need to know. So the first one here is that Social Security has more than $22 trillion in unfunded obligations. This is obviously a huge amount and is making it so the trust fund may just go insolvent within the next 8 to 10 years. Secondly, they say that the current payout schedule is very much in question, with benefit cuts a real possibility by 2033. So just like the trust fund possibly going insolvent, they mentioned their 2033, although it could be even sooner than that, depending on cost of adjustments and how much income is made, how much money is coming into the trust fund. Now, the third thing is that Joe Biden has proposed increasing payroll taxation on high earners. So in 2024, all earned income between 1 penny and $168,600 is subject to the 12.4% payroll tax. Close to 94% of workers will bring home less than $168,600 this year and will therefore owe tax on every dollar they earn. Meanwhile, earned income north of $168,600 is exempted from the payroll tax. So basically what Biden wants to do is he wants to make it so all income earned above $400,000 is once again taxed, and we have more money going into the Social Security Trust Fund. That way someone who makes, let's say, like $10 million per year is only paying tax into the Social Security Trust Fund on the first $168,000 that they earn, but they would actually have anything above $400,000 that they earn as well also going into the trust fund, making it so the solvency goes further past 2033. Now, the fourth thing is that the president wants to shift the measure of inflation from the CPIW to the CPIE. So every single year there is an increase, or usually an increase, to what we receive in our Social Security benefit. And they use that on inflation, and they use a metric called the CPIW, or the Consumer Price Index for the urban wage earners or clerical workers. They want to switch that over to a metric called the CPIE, which is going to more closely track what the elderly usually spend on. And on average, year by year, the CPIE is usually around 0.2% higher than the CPIW. So year over year, you would be receiving an increase just a little bit higher. This wouldn't be anything significant, but it would be around a 0.2% increase on average, which over, let's say, like 10 years is going to add up to being, a pretty good amount. Now, the fifth one here is that Biden has suggested increasing the special minimum benefit. So in 2024, a lifetime low-earning worker with 30 years of coverage can take home no more than $1,066.50 per month. By comparison, the federal poverty level for the 48 U.S. states in 2024 is $1,255 per month. Now, the president wants to lift the special minimum benefit to 125% of the federal poverty level and adjust it annually thereafter to account for inflation. So if they were to do this, someone receiving the special minimum benefit in 2024 would receive an increase of right around $500. So obviously this would be a huge difference for those people. And the sixth one is that the president's proposal would gradually increase the PIA for age beneficiaries. So the fourth big change Joe Biden wants to make is to gradually lift the primary insurance amount for age beneficiaries. Specifically, Biden's plan calls for a 1% annual increase to their PIA beginning at age 78 and continuing through age 82, which would result in an aggregate boost of 5%. So as we get older, obviously our costs go up, specifically in healthcare. So Biden wants to make it so as you age from 78 through 82, you receive a bigger increase each year, 1% to be exact. And the seventh one here is that Joe Biden's plan would extend the solvency of the program's asset reserves. And they believe here, based on research, that it would extend the life of the trust fund by right around 5 years, so not a great amount. The eighth one here is that Biden's 4-point proposal falls well short of closing Social Security's long-term funding gap. So they said that on the other hand, Joe Biden's big changes wouldn't come within striking distance of closing the program's growing long-term funding gap, so it really wouldn't do a lot, they say. The ninth one here is that the president's Social Security plan would come with unintended economic consequences. So an analyst conducted by The Economist at the nonpartisan Penn Wharton budget model in March of 2020 suggests that switching to the CPIE from the CPIW would cause individuals with ample retirement savings to work less or retire earlier. This would have negative implications for U.S. productivity and lead to lower gross domestic product by 2030 and 2050. Furthermore, increasing the payroll tax on high earners would distort labor supply decisions by more than the current payroll tax. In the words of PWPM's economists, in plain English, targeting high-income individuals would encourage these workers to defer their income, work less, or generate income from sources that avoid the payroll tax. This, too, is a negative for the U.S. economy over the long run. And then finally, Biden's Social Security proposal has virtually no chance of becoming a law, and that's because most of the things that he's suggesting here only has Democratic support. And in order for really any bill to pass, it has to be bipartisan. They need to have at least some Republican support, or if it has all Republican support, it needs to have at least some Democratic support. These are pretty much all ones that all Democrats support, and we really don't have enough Republicans to pass these into law. But with that said, which of these things would you like to see become passed into law and become permanent? And at this time, are you currently concerned with the solvency of the Social Security program and the potential cuts of up to 25% if nothing is done by the year of 2033? Leave your thoughts in comments below. But that's all we have for today's video. I certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. And I will see you in the next video.